Reproduction problems in dairy herds can manifest in different ways. The most reliable index for reproductive performance is the pregnancy rate, as it accounts for all eligible cows, even the ones that are not pregnant yet, and because it offers an image of what is happening now, or at least almost now. Using a systematic approach allows you to never forget to evaluate the most common causes. In this course, we suggest an effective approach, but keep in mind that your own can also be good as long as you always follow the same steps so you don't forget any. The pregnancy rate is influenced by two principal components, the insemination rate and the conception risk. As the insemination is easier to evaluate and often easier to fix, it is logical to start with it. A low insemination rate will result in a low pregnancy rate because, as you know, a cow will not get pregnant if she is not inseminated. It is consequently very important to investigate a low insemination rate. To optimize the insemination rate, it is essential to inseminate cows quickly after the voluntary waiting period, to rapidly identify non-pregnant cows by heat detection and pregnancy check, and to quickly re-inseminate cows when they are found non-pregnant. A low insemination rate can be caused by the absence of one or many of these elements. It is crucial to discuss them with the person responsible for the reproduction management on the farm. For example, how is the heat detection done? What management is used to inseminate cows? And what is the frequency at which the pregnancy checks are done? In this course, we will present how to use the Doppler ultrasound to diagnose non-pregnant cows earlier than with other methods. If the pregnancy rate is low and the insemination rate is adequate, the conception risk is likely the problem. You then have to find why cows are not becoming pregnant after they're inseminated. There are many causes that lead to a low conception risk. An interesting approach to find which cause is at play is to identify which inseminations are affected. Indeed, if all inseminations are affected, the cause will likely affect cows in all stages of lactation. A problem with the inseminations themselves would result in a low conception risk for all inseminations. For example, a poor semen quality due to a low level of nitrogen in the tank or an inadequate insemination technique by a new employee would affect all inseminations equally. In a herd that uses synchronization programs, it is crucial that the injections are done with the right product, with the right dose, to the right cow and at the right moment. If hormonal synchronization is used for all inseminations, the lack of compliance to the program would again result in a low conception risk for all inseminations. Finally, an elevated urea in the milk is associated with a low conception risk. If the prevalence of cows with elevated urea is high at all lactation stages, the conception risk will be low for all inseminations. On the contrary, if only first inseminations are affected, the problem is likely at the beginning of the lactation. For example, in a herd that uses a synchronization program for first inseminations and heat detection for subsequent inseminations, a low conception risk for first inseminations could be due to the lack of compliance to the program. A low conception risk for first inseminations is, however, often associated with a transition problem. For example, a nutrition problem in the postpartum period could cause elevated urea for postpartum cows only, which would result in a low conception risk for first insemination. An excessive negative energy balance during the transition period could also result in a high prevalence of anovulatory cows or cows with uterine disease, which would result in a low conception risk for first inseminations. As you can see, this systematic approach allows the evaluation of the most common causes that lead to a low pregnancy rate. As I mentioned, this is an example of a systematic approach. You can use it, use your own approach, or combine both. The most important is that you are systematic and don't forget any steps.